Hi, my name is Steve Garland, and this is my UVA Wrestling weekly video newsletter. Thank you all. First, I wanted just to start off right off the bat with a big thank you. The Cavalier Wrestling Club Casino Night event out at Veritas Winery that I got to go be a part of was just it was just really cool event. Again, it was so great to see some of our diehards that always come back. Folks like Kevin Michaels and Boo, his wife, and the Pegues family, John and Kathy Pegues, and all the other people that come, Chris Hunter, I mean, all these people, they constantly come back. I also got to see some friends of mine that I wrestled with in college that were really close. All-American Matt Roth, for example, was there. Gosh, John McManus, who was one of my buddies in college, and Johnny Johnson. Just so many guys that I've been friends with for so long coming back to support wrestling and try to help the mission of growing wrestling. And it was just really cool. So that being said, I also wanted to thank everybody for coming to the match. It was one of our better crowds. It was the best crowd of the year, and it was exciting, and people were engaged, and they were yelling, and that's one thing that I asked for and really wanted to see happen, and it did happen. So thank you guys so much for coming out. Everybody who came to the dual meet, you made it really fun. And yeah, the dual meet, to recap NC State, I promised good wrestling, and that's what everybody saw. You saw a really hard-fought dual meet with a lot of battles and really good wrestling on display. It was incredible. It was a lot of fun to be a part of. Obviously, it's never fun to lose, and that's certainly not something anybody's happy about on our side, but what a great product to put out there, and what a great thing to see. And what I told the team afterwards was simply this, is we're not that far off. We're a lot closer than you guys even might think, and we're a lot closer than that score indicates. The bottom line is, what I saw is not a team that lost 20-something to whatever. What I see is a team improving. What I see is a team that's going somewhere. What I see is a group of guys that are a totally different group of guys than they were in November, and that's really exciting. And so I'm going to highlight some of the things from the match that I thought were great. The first one, Jack Mueller came right out of the gates and did everything he could to get major bonus points. He ended up getting a major decision, but he was looking for a tech fall or a pin. He ended up coming out on top. I think he won by 10 or 12. So he did a great job for us, and 133 was the match of the day, really, if you think about it. I mean, Will Mason comes out and beats a nationally ranked guy, highly nationally ranked guy who went 2-2 at Nationals last year, who's a very dangerous wrestler, and we felt like not only wrestled well, but wrestled a very strategic match and fought hard at the end to ice that match late in the third period. And just was really cool to see him getting into it and having some fun, and really cool to see. So what you look at, when I see a guy flexing afterwards and I see the look on his face of joy, I've tried to explain this to people before. I don't see a guy who's being flamboyant. What I look at as a kid, that I remember him coming here on his official visit. I remember all the phone conversations with his coach Jack Effner, and also with him about him coming here. I remember all the talks on the couch we had when he wasn't the starter, and how he kept fighting for himself and battling because he had huge goals for himself. So it's like a highlight reel that rolls through your head of his whole career, and then you see that the feeling of joy and elation that you get out of that. It's very hard to explain unless you've been in my shoes, unless you've been in the coaching standpoint. It was just incredible. It was euphoric. So. And I'm not trying to be dramatic, because I'm not saying that was the national title, but I'm saying what a cool thing what a blessing to be a part of that kid's growth. That kid is the young man's growth, and to see where he's come from, where he's at now, and to see him just enjoying the moment was really special for me. And I know I looked over and the crowd was going nuts. And one of my favorite things was not just his parents, but also seeing Ralph DiCamillo almost on the side of the mat going nuts. And I just thought that I just got such a kick out of it. It was a lot of fun. Some of the other highlights, even though we lost this bout, the 157-pound match was just incredible. What a war. What a fun match. I mean, gosh, Andrew Atkinson comes out, and he's, the whole match was one big scramble. And, I just feel like lately he's been on the other end of some really interesting calls, controversial, certainly in my opinion, and also some matches that I just feel like I don't know how, when he comes off the mat, I'm like, how did he lose that one? And so we're just so proud of him for his fight and his effort, and he's got to tighten up some stuff, absolutely, but no one's ever going to question Andrew's heart, that's for sure. So at 174 was the other match of the night, with Garrett Peppelman coming from behind to beat Nicky Reenan. And Reenan was one of the top recruits in the nation at any weight class coming out. He's a highly touted guy, nationally ranked guy, a fierce competitor, extremely talented. And so for Garrett to get that win again, it was cool. It was another thing to see Garrett be so happy to see his parents afterwards. My daughter and I went to dinner after the match, and we got to see them, bumped into them, and it was just so neat to see how happy they are for their son. I mean, anybody with kids, you just get a kick out of it when you see parents that proud of their kids. So really, really cool moment for him, and hopefully he can continue to grow from that, because that was that's a big one for him. I also wanted to highlight Will Shaney, even though he lost at 184 pounds. The wrestle he wrestled from NC State is very, very tough. 11th ranked wrestler in the country, depending on the ranking. He between 11 and 15. The guy's just really tough. And Will was right there with him 1-to-1 with I think 16 seconds left. Had a bunch of shots that he almost finished. And that's obviously the action item for him, is he's got to work on that position. But man, was he wrestling hard as usual. He's another guy that has shown the rest of the team that you can get better exponentially as the season goes on. There's not like some time warp that happens where all of a sudden during the season it's just focused on competition and you can't improve. He's improved dramatically. I would argue the most improved guy on the team since November, because beginning of the year it was rough. I mean, it was hard to watch, and to see where he's come from now, it's great, and we're really happy for him, and just encouraging him to keep going where he's going. He got knee picked at the end, but you want to talk about a guy that was hand fighting and battling. It was especially towards the end when he was fighting off shots. It was just really good to see that, and I think it again it shows the team what it's like to improve, what it looks like, what improvement truly looks like in a tangible way that they can actually see. So, moving forward, we have another big weekend coming up. We've got two very tough teams again. We've got UNC Chapel Hill, and then we got Duke back-to-back Saturday and Sunday. Saturday, we wrestle Chapel Hill at 7 p.m. We wrestle Duke at 2 p.m. on Sunday. So stay tuned for that. I won't give too much of a preview other than to say both lineups both those teams boast guys that are highly, highly ranked. Chapel Hill's main highly ranked guys are at 141. Georgie's got another war on his hands with Joey Ward, who I believe is ranked 3rd in the nation right now, 3rd or 4th or 5th. He's in that ballpark. And then also Ramos at 174, who's returning All-American, who's ranked extremely high as well. And they have other guys too, but that's just a few, or just a couple. Duke's heavyweight, just major decision, Ty Walls from Virginia Tech, Casper. He's an absolute stud. He won the scuffle this year as well, so he's anchoring their lineup, and they have nationally ranked guys up and down their lineup as well. There is no, I've said this before, but there is no easy match in the ACC. There just isn't. There's no easy bout. There's no easy match. It's awesome. It's awesome to be a part of. That's why I think everybody's recruiting efforts have shot through the roofs. I think that's why nationwide people are talking in our little world of wrestling. It's a completely different world, and it's awesome to be a part of. And I think that we're going to be so prepared for the end of the year because of the way we've been battle tested this year. It's just I just feel like I really like where our team's heading. I really like where we're going as a staff. I really like what's the vibe that's been going on everywhere in our program, from our strength coaches to everybody else in our support staff. And so I'm very thankful for this year, and ask that you guys hang with us, because coming up we have our senior day and our last home duel of the year against Pitt. We'll get to that next week. In the meantime, thank you guys for all your support, and go Hoos.